Okay, hi everyone. I think we're recording, so I'm going to share my screen and jump into this. Here we go. Okay, so what I'd like to do today is just provide an update as quickly as I possibly can as we head into break. Today is Wednesday, March 8th, and here I'm on the D2L page. So I've updated the class list here. I think everybody's on board, and I might as well just start here. And I also have the newspaper website in my head. So here we go. Keystone Newspaper SPG. The first thing I posted is this was something that we were talking about in sports writing, but I thought y'all might like to know about it. This was written by Jim Adair, who is a professional writing graduate, and it was written before 2016. I think it was reposted here at some point. It's much older than that. I think it might be actually from 2006. But it says Kansas are a bunch of logo stealing jabronis who don't deserve to win. And you can read the article. I'm not going to read it all to you right now. But basically, what the University of Kansas did, which is UK, you'll notice, they went out and they spent like $89,000 to have some organization create this font for them when Kutztown University already had this font. So it came down to apparently Kansas owns these letters and it's trademarked, but they don't own the font and the style. And Kutztown had it first. So there was all this. And then I think Kansas actually was hoping to bully us by saying, we own this and you need to give it up. But they found out that they couldn't because we had it first and they had spent this money. So, you can go ahead and read this. It's a piece, it's an opinion piece essentially, and it's fun. And it plugs into sort of the history of Kutztown and some of the fun that a student has had with it. So I'll let you take that on. It's not very long. Okay, on to more serious things. So Michael and I have been contacted by a group that represents local high schools and some of the community colleges, and they are holding a journalism summit here at the university. And I do have a date on this. It's April 12th. I believe it's April 12th, which is a Wednesday. Let me take a look here. I see that it looks like it. Yeah, it's April 12th, which is a Wednesday. It got cut off of the bottom of this announcement. So I have a conference call scheduled with them next week, so I will know more. I'm sure that they want to tour the Keystone office, which is like no big deal, but it could be 100 students or something like that. So I need to get a sense for what they're asking from us. I don't know if they're going to ask us to participate in terms of being a guest speaker, like it's a guest speaker session, whether they want me to talk or what the level of participation is. So I'm just putting that out there so that you're aware of it. I did call into question, scheduling on a Wednesday is hard to get participation because you guys have classes during the week. So we'll see what happens there. It's probably going to be minimal, and Michael and I will probably be able to take care of it. But as part of your experience with the newspaper, I wanted to let you know that potentially 100 or more high school students will be coming to campus to participate in this journalism summit, and wanted it to be in your heads. Excuse me. Also, similarly, we were invited, and actually, my brain was turning toward this. Annually, Kutztown University hosts what they call a composition conference, and I typically don't teach composition, so I haven't participated in this. But it seems that they are spreading their wings to try to invite more people to participate in this because, it's hard if you're just trying to get essays out of freshman composition, for example, and maybe some from, CMP 200, some research projects. So very similar to what we're doing at the Keystone, where we are transitioning from just a newspaper into a student publishing group and welcoming academic work and things like that. So they have, long story short, they have invited the Keystone to participate with a roundtable, and there are other groups, Essence, excuse me, and the Writing Center will be represented here. So I am looking for at least 3, and I think at most 5. So I'll say right now, I need to put together a list of 3 to 5 students from the Keystone who will participate in a roundtable. And essentially, I envision each of you talking about your role at the Keystone, what you are trying to achieve in the short term, in the long term, what philosophies are guiding your goals. Don't make it harder than it needs to be. It's mostly going to be you talking about what you do. And you've told that if you've been on staff for any time at all, you've had to report that to the group week after week after week after week, right? So, it is basically that. I'm not sure if, for example, Caitlin Love could be part of this, like talking about business. I think so. I don't see why not. You know, we're talking about this as being a pre-professional experience at the university that students from any major can participate in, and it involves budgets and deadlines and legal considerations and things you need to know about publishing technology as well. So if you're interested, let me know. This can go on your resume then. This is a great resume item. Preparation would be minimal and you would learn a lot from the experience. Because it is a roundtable, I'd need to know a little bit more about time parameters, but usually these are 30 to 45 minutes, something like that. I might be able to show up with you depending on when it is Monday, April 17th. So my Monday schedule, I do have classes in the afternoon. So it's possible that I could be there. But since it is 3 or 4 or 5 of you, you know, it's not going to be one person having to talk for 45 minutes. It's going to be shared time. It's a great resume item. Preparation would be minimal and you would learn a lot from the experience. You get to put it right on your resume that you presented at a conference here. And if you don't have that, that's a big deal. Okay, so yeah, let me know by email if you're interested in this Monday, April 17th. I'm not sure what time of day, but you know, we can cross that bridge when it comes. Let me know. Okay, I put in newspapers here and oh yeah. So I put a list of newspapers here, and once upon a time on my old laptop before it died, I had all these newspapers bookmarked. And oftentimes before I would go to bed, I would open these up and I would see what was going on. Now, you know, our phones have changed and you can actually set up a news feed. But some of them here that are interesting, like any of you can access the New York Times through Rohrbach Library. It's very simple to do. It's in the databases and you can set up an account for the New York Times or the Washington Post or the Wall Street Journal. If you get stuck, there is a chat function that you can click on and people monitor that. I had a question yesterday and I asked and it said, somebody stepped away, but they'll be back in 5 minutes. And they were. And Bob flatly said, what do you need, Mike? And I told him and we hashed it out. So New York Times, Washington Post, Philadelphia Inquirer, Miami Herald, USA Today, Chicago Sun-Times, etc. And then near the end, I bring in the Times of London, Le Monde, which is French, the Japan Times, Moscow Times, Mexico News Daily, Montreal Gazette, China. I'm not even sure. Is that North Korean news? Yeah. Pyongyang, Times of India. So if you've never looked at one of these newspapers from another country, then click on it. Take a look, see what the headlines are. I think I have Al Jazeera in here as well. Yeah, here's Al Jazeera, which I read for years, especially when the United States was in Iraq, because I wanted to see what was really happening because I think the information, the intel we were getting on this side was not accurate. And there's African news here. So, right, click on any of those at any time and spend 5 minutes with it, right? Just do it on your phone. I plugged in some website stats here from March 1st. That was a week ago. And you see, I think what was happening here was Abby was doing some pretty heavy marketing, and I think we had lots of traffic there. You know, but typically, I mean, we do okay, anywhere from 20, I can't see the live stats here, 25, let's say, up to a couple of hundred views. So let's keep plugging away at that and see if I have any other announcements here in terms of previous things. Okay. So we have two staff, Caitlin and Victoria, who are going to CMA this weekend. I am delighted. I want to thank you for putting this all together. Again, right? I'm always looking for this pre-professional development and for all of you to figure out who, what, when, where, why, and how, and to actually send two students to this conference and everything that goes along with it. You know, the budgeting and the travel and the reservations and all that stuff. I hope that the two students come back with an immense amount. You know, typically, right? When I've sent students to conferences or when I've gone with them, we all come back with lots of ideas. We won't be able to incorporate all of your ideas, but we sure do want to hear them, and we'll take, you know, what we can and incorporate it. So please take notes. And I'm hoping that once you get back, and this is going to be after break then, and I think I'm going to be at the next meeting then after the break. We want to hear about the conference. So please be ready to fill us in. Okay. Yeah, so now we are now members of the Pennsylvania News Media Association, or that's in the works. I saw that the paperwork went, and I saw it. I think it was Teresa that responded. So that should be processed, and we should be able to enter for next year. That's fantastic. And then there's links there. And then I just wanted to look. Let's see, we've got next meeting. Okay, that's about all I have in my head as far as D2L goes. I'm going to turn my attention here. So we are in week 7. The goal is to publish 5 days a week for 7 weeks. That's 35. We've published as of right now 29. So we're a little bit short. We got off to a slow start at the beginning of the semester. That's normal, right? People getting back from break, trying to figure it out. Hoping that we can catch up. I'm hoping that students in my journalism classes will continue to provide material for us to publish going forward, and certainly our staff should continue to produce material going forward. We now have 2 paid writers, I think, right? We should be two paid copy editors, and then I have a whole fleet of students in journalism classes that are churning out things. Hard news is next on our agenda. Most of those students in my classes have a hard news article, so you should start to see those. They're trying to incorporate, the images in that as well and figure out all of that. So hopefully you'll see a flurry of those. It's very curious, right, in my classes that I'll lead these, what's the old expression? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. That's exactly right. So I have all these students who have all these profiles and presumably all of these hard news stories, and they won't submit them. Some of them just won't. And I'm not sure why. Certainly, especially those who are professional writing majors don't want to submit their work. I think they might have doubts about it, but I look at their work in class. If you've ever had me for class, right, I pull it all up from the Google folder and I give them individualized coaching on it. And right, if anybody needs assistance, they can come and see me during office hours. But for whatever reason, there it is. Authored biographies, right? We should continue to, if you are a regular contributor to the newspaper, you should build an author bio for yourself. I just saw something this morning where Molly Kutz, who is a professional writing major and double major in library science and has been contributing regularly, just put forward her material so that Molly's name can go up there. And we can cycle through this, as people move on and graduate, then we can remove their names. But for now, let's build that roster. Okay, I think that's it. Pausing for a moment. Yeah, I think I've covered everything. So I'll be working, a good chunk of next week trying to get caught up, and then I will see you after break. I think I'm scheduled to be there on the 21st. I will double check that. I'm very eager to hear about, the travel from Caitlin and Victoria. Okay, I'm going to stop my share, and I'm going to sign on. Okay, that's it. Thanks.